Wow.
Well,
I got robbed.
you did not get robbed.
Listen, I was coming here with the best of intentions to record this fucking podcast, and now I just realized I got robbed.
You did not get robbed. That is not
To
confirmed.
any townsperson who ever paid attention to my fingers or my hands, which I know are not my most coveted asset, but if you have, I recently, and by recent I mean in mid-May, I bought a really beautiful gold ring with, not to match this gold chain I have right now, but it was a really nice ring, big, beautiful, and I just realized it's not where I left it.
Okay.
And I believe it was one of those men that I brought over.
Well, listen, I would say unless you have definitive proof, or not to proof, or if you have a reason to believe that one of those men.
A reason to believe that just rotted gay people. Just
well,
here
also,
my beautiful
I will
things, my
say,
jewelry's out.
I will say, you do sometimes have a habit of misplacing things. So I think.
What are you trying to say?
So I say before we start accusing others of stealing, maybe we just.
But what if
try to retrace our steps?
But what if I'm certain that I left it there? Because I always leave my ring there. It's just I put it there because that's where I put all my jewelry.
But there's so much jewelry there. You know what I mean? So like, if someone was
It
to
was a
steal,
big, chunky
they just
statement ring.
They just took the one ring. They didn't take more.
Yeah, because it's like the biggest ring. Like I mean, it's the quickest thing to grab.
There's a lot of stuff up there, though.
Yeah, but that's the one thing I would be like, oh, look at this gold ring. Literal gold.
You said gold lined.
Well, I mean, it's gold plated.
Okay, listen. Well, then hit up every man that you brought over that night and say, you stole my ring.
And then, I don't know, he, Nick's questioning me here. Like, he's not believing victims, clearly.
I do believe...
Victim blaming.
I believe victims. Always believe victims.
The first thing I said, you were like, Mama, it wasn't... You probably left it somewhere.
I said, well, did you maybe take it off and when you went to go over to a different... Because the events that you described for that evening, you had a man...
That's just a random evening that I would think that's when it had happened. Because I haven't worn my ring. The reason why I haven't even been wearing my nice ring to work is because I've clearly given up on my work life, so I'm just not even wearing my nice stuff anymore. I'm just like not even going there with anything. Hi, I'm Pioneer Peru.
I'm Trailblazer Nick.
And this is
Pioneers and Trailblazers.
I had a riveting story about like my experience at the barbershop today, because for the visual learners, you'll notice my beautiful fade, which is like the final step in my hair journey, and I would
the journey to what?
To like the look that I wanted.
Oh, okay.
What are you implying?
No, I was just asking. I was like, what journey are we on?
So you didn't think I was on a journey?
I mean, we're always on a journey.
Wow. It's an episode in which Nick and I are gonna fight the entire time.
I don't think we're gonna fight. I'm like low energy today, so I don't have the energy to fight with you.
Wow.
I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. Throw in the towel. You are robbed, sure.
Wow. Well, I was at the barbershop, and it was kind of interesting because like this is like early on pod lore, but I discussed going to this Dominican barbershop right across the street from where I live, which is like predominantly, people of color, and Spanish speaking. And like it is interesting going to like a male dominated or like male coded spaces in which you could feel like as a queer fan person kind of like like insecure to go there. Well, like I've definitely come to terms with myself and like come full circle and just loving
and try to come on them and with them. Of
course, and famously Don Alberto, who's the guy who cuts my hair, has the loveliest man. Tall, he's like 6'3", like he's probably like in his 40s, maybe like late 40s, but you can tell that he like used to be built, bitch. You can tats everywhere.
Yeah,
but he's like soft spoken, and I think he has alluded to like having made mistakes, quote unquote, in earlier in his life. So I think he may have been away.
To the
place where people go away when they make mistakes.
When they say lock them up.
But I don't think it was anything crazy, because obviously now he's out. Like, and obviously with people of color, sometimes you don't know when people get put out, whatever. But anyway, and so like sometimes we've talked about like traveling and what. So I've really
like I would love to go to jail.
Yeah,
you were like, wait, that's gonna be a dick buffet.
Because I'm gonna be like the fucking bitch girl,
Oh yeah, you'd be like the prison wife or whatever.
Absolutely. Like, I'll find like the one who like actually kills people. Like I'll wife you up.
Well, that's how you save yourself. That's how you don't get murdered.
And I'll be like, pussy's ready.
And and then you start calling the shots for like a mob boy from like whatever. You're like, oh, he.
Yeah.
yeah, this is his crime. He did this. He
No,
should kill him.
anyone who's like trying to like, you know, like we're in prison, we're at the prison courtyard or whatever, and like someone like rubbed me the wrong way or like was mean to be. Or, like,
you're like, no, you're like, can I suck your cock? And they're like, no. And you're like, get up.
Yeah, I want to be like, hey babe, just so you know, he felt my ass. Kill him.
He didn't ask your permission.
Yeah, he didn't ask your permission. He felt me up, baby. You will go ahead and stab him with a pencil. And he gets stabbed
in the neck.
Of course.
There was a kid in my elementary school who was in my sister's grade who stabbed a kid in the neck with a pencil. It was like a whole thing.
Where is that person now?
Married.
Oh. the typical progression, you know, stabbing someone in the neck.
And then his brother was in my grade, and his brother was like, I think his brother secretly bi. There was like a whole thing senior year of high school.
Secretly bi? One thing's secretly gay, but how do you know someone's secretly bi?
I think he was just like internally biphobic, like because he had girlfriends and he dated two of my really close friends in high school, and he told both of them that like he didn't like that they hung out with me so much, and like he was threatened by me, and I was like, girly, why are you threatened by me? I'm literally a faggot. Like, what do you mean? And then it became this whole thing, and then senior year, after the day of graduation, we like had a party after our like project grad thing, and he was like, you know what, I don't know why I hate you so much. And I said, oh well, it's great to know that you do hate me. That's lovely. He was hot though.
That's the thing. This is a common thread actually with like straight men.
I think he was into me slightly and just didn't know what to do about it.
Not even then though, because I feel like straight men, especially when we're younger, like in high school, this happened to me too. Actually, I have a story about it. Like straight men being threatened by queer coded people like early on, like when we're in high school, because I feel like straight men are also insecure, as we know. They're the most insecure species on human earth,
for sure,
especially because they're not really brought up to like really listen to their feelings and like open up to people about them. But there was one of my really good friends, Jordan. This is during the times when my friend Alyssa, for that we had to cut her full name, but my friend Alyssa, for all of you guys who know, who used to get into fights during lunch and like hit someone in the curb and then like honk at cop cars, that Alyssa. My friend Jordan, adjacently too, was hanging out with her a lot. Now Jordan and this guy named Matt used to have like a Ross and Rachel thing, like will they, won't they, and like they would be like, would they, and then like,
who's Ross and Rachel?
Oh, from the very iconic TV show Friends that many people know from different generations.
Oh,
so
that came up before I was born.
I don't know about coming up. Like I came up before Mozart came around, but I'm familiar with Mozart. I'm familiar with Gone with the Wind. It's Scarlett O'Hara.
I haven't seen it.
I think that just says to like Nick's looser ways.
But clearly you know it very well, probably
Like
because you watched it as it aired live on TV.
No, I watch it actually when it came on Netflix. So, like, the Gen Z people, like my contemporaries, to watch it on Netflix, and then they would make fun on TikTok about like, you know, like the misogyny and like the like homophobia, but like there was still like, it's still kind of like a gag. Yeah, I was part of that TikTok craze.
Yeah, I had a friend that started watching it in high school and would watch it during lunch breaks, and I tried watching an episode with her, and I said, oh, this is shit.
But it's not. Miss Lisa Kudrow, icon in that show. Miss Rachel.
I mean, I love Lisa Kudrow. The comeback, obviously.
And Miss Jennifer Aniston. Rachel. I'm the Rachel.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I'm the Rachel. I'm the Rachel with like a Lisa Kudrow racing.
Who am I in it?
Girl.
Those I haven't seen. Who?
You're Monica.
Is that Courtney Cox?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah, she's the only one that didn't get nominated for an Emmy.
Out of all of them?
The only one.
Kind of iconic if you think about it.
And she's always like frazzled in the show. She's like, we gotta do this, and like we got to plan for this, and we gotta make this happen, and we can't be doing that. Like that's so you.
Drag me. So Jordan,
and she was dating this guy on and off named Matt, and I can say his name. No, I guess I can't. Matt. Okay, I'm gonna cut that silence because I really contemplated saying his full name. Anyway, actually, when you do like an improv show, like when you're a monologist in a show, like you say full names. When you like go to improv school, which I graduated from UCB, Advanced Studies, one of the exercise.
Where is this going?
It's going that when you do an improv exercise, when it comes to storytelling and telling a good story and telling a good monologue, is there's attention to detail is the most important thing. Because when you do callbacks in improv scenes, it's good to have people's names.
Right, but those are fictional people, like fictional characters.
When you tell a story that's gonna like inspire a scene, you want to have specific names and details. So you're like, for example, from my ninth grade English class, Mrs. Bryant. You know, like you want to make sure that you pinpoint, or like someone's name, like John Smith was my bully from school, and then you're able to call back that name in the scene. So it's very important. So you use real people's names in improv scenes.
Right, but that's not being recorded and posted online in a podcast format.
Very true. Anyway, so I found out, like, he would be friendly with me. And he was part of the alternative kind of like cool guys, you know, who would play the guitar and had the like, you know, like longer hair, but, you know, was still kind of like liked and whatever. And I came to find out Jordan was like, hey, like, I got to tell you something. She called me and she was like, Matt does. Oh, I'm going to.
Wow. Okay. That does date you.
God. I did just cut that. I cut something that for just privacy reasons.
Right. To protect your privacy.
To protect my privacy. And so I was like, why? And so I came to find out that Matt was jealous that Jordan was hanging out with me that much. And he was starting to tell his friends he wanted to fight me.
Wait, I would have paid money for that.
Because he thought I was stealing Jordan from him. And I was like, Mama, and then Jordan, in a very coded way, it was the summer. In a very coded way, we were hanging out with Alyssa, and she was like doing shots with Aaron and all the other college guys, and just like doing Oxycontin and just like getting fucked up. And I was just with Jordan in Aaron's room, and we were like laying in bed together and just like talking. And then she was like, and it's kind of crazy because like, and she turns and looks at me and she goes like, because you know, like you and I like are like friends. But the way she said it, it was like,
You're a faggot. Like, you're not trying to put your dick in my puss.
I know. And I was like, yeah, girl. Like, it's so crazy. My entire senior year of high school, Matt wanted to fight me.
There's something really erotic about that, though.
There is, but like also like the insecurity runs so rampant in like this man that like he couldn't even see clearly to the fact that I am clearly a gay person and we're just being girlies. Like,
yeah, you know? Well, I think there's like jealousy there because like they also like when you're in high school, you're a teenager. Like your idea of like what a proper relationship is so skewed a particular way because you're immature, you're young, you probably haven't been in a relationship prior to this, and if you have, like, you were in middle school, and again, it's really immature. But it was like a similar thing with, I'm not gonna name him, but this individual who's now he has a very specific type that he's into when it comes to girlies. He loves a blonde, a white blonde, and
blonde fetish,
and they like all look the same. It's like really kind of crazy. But then anyway, he had like a thing where he was like kind of came out as bi, like senior year, because then he and this guy that was in my grade as well, who was in my friend group that I was loosely friends with, they like had this weird sort of like dynamic with each other where they're like, oh, we're really good friends, and then there was like a moment where like, well, we're actually exploring like our feelings for each other, and we were like, what? Because they was the two most unlikely people, because he's like, one was hyper masculine, other like faggot, like theater fag, you know, like not like same level as me, maybe a little bit more faggy.
More?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, mama.
Whatever. We were probably like equal. But anyway, it was
equal fags title of it.
But it was just like, that was just such a bizarre situation. And then anyway, then he told me that he hated me, and I said, work, at least I know you hated me, or like you hate me. So I was like, work. How did we get into that?
Okay, so I'm at the barber shop.
Okay.
So then, like, being queer, and like I really bond with Don Alberto. Like, you know, we have conversation, we talk in Spanish only. Like, that's how I initially wanted to bond with him, by just talking to him in Spanish, you know. And now he asked me about my dog. He sees me when he always tells me when he sees me going to the liquor store. He's like, I saw you in there on 4th of July, and I was like, oh yeah, I was picking up some wine. He was like, yeah, I saw you, and I was like, yeah.
He was like, was it good?
I was like, good.
Yeah, recommend.
So they were just chatting, but today, rare occurrence. because he's always playing music, and I've called it out today. He always plays like he has a great taste in music. Like he always like tailors the music sometimes to like who's there.
Oh, so as soon as you walk in, he starts playing Britney.
Well, sometimes he does put pop, but he's like, "What do you like?" And I like it when he plays like 80s music, you know, like Depeche Mode or something like that, or even like 70s disco, which he likes to play too, like ABBA, like radio. And lately, I've been really into just listening to R&B, like late 90s, early 2000s. So today, the vibe was R&B, and when I got in there, his playlist was not the usual that he just puts like a Pandora station or something where he finds his like go-to stations. I could tell that it was like mixed, like the songs were fading in and out. There were no commercials. It felt like a DJ mix, and I was like, "No, Alberto, this playlist is hitting." And it was like, "Oh yeah, it's like one I made."
Oh,
So secret talent, Don Alberto likes to make his own like DJ, like he was like, "Oh, my
playlist.
MP3," and I was like, "Oh my god, go pop up MP3," and like, you know, he like fades them in, fades them out, so he's curating this music, and he was playing he was playing like Chingy, like Jaquan, freaking Snoop Dogg, like true like early aughts like R&B, like Biggie, but then in between it was TLC, it was freaking Amory, then fucking Mariah Carey. I was like, oh, like I was like resisting the fag urge title of Ep 2 to like just like go like, yes, you know, like anytime like J-Lo would come on randomly, I'm like, wow.
You're like, wait.
But then what happened, because again, usually it's only straight men, either black men or Latino men who are coming in there, right? I've never seen, not to my knowledge, a white person there. First person that comes in through the door, this like awkward, he was this black guy, like young, contemporary, awkward, you could tell like nerdy vibes, gonna say it, it's okay to say, like, you know, like the one nerd in high school who sat like in the very back of like English class, you know, like wore glasses, didn't make any eye contact, would just like stare at their book, that kind of vibe. But it's also interesting to see like nerd in like different like races, which I can say, because you know, like it is, you know, like what people identify like when like as a Latin person, you know, like the stereotype is like we're loud, like nah, whatever, but like there are also like Latin nerds.
Well, yeah, it's there's nuance and there's diversity within
Of course,
community.
I'm just trying to emphasize the
No, we're following.
we're all different.
You know, yeah. I mean, and listen, not the stereotype is a stereotype for a reason,
Yes,
because it's just a stereotype.
Yeah, there's definitely this Latin poppy nerds.
Yes, there's nuance to there's nuance to everything.
So he comes in, and I'm like, oh, the second thing I clock as soon as he sits down, the way he sat,
Crossed legs,
mama,
faggot.
fag.
Was he cute?
And no,
Oh.
but I saw my sister, but very awkward, and girl, she slayed. Don Alberto talked to him in English, and he was like, "Hey, my friend, come sit on his side of the salon." This is a really tiny salon, but there are two barbers.
Okay.
So I don't know, like he already knew him. So the guy's like, huh, what? He said, "My friend, come sit over here. You know, like I'll finish with him soon, whatever." So then he like stands up, and he has this like pouch that he's carrying. That coated purse.
Yeah.
His pouch. He's carrying his pouch, and it's like army. It's like an army themed pouch.
Like camouflage.
But like he's holding it, you know, like this. So he's like, huh, what? Okay. And like he's not making any eye contact. Like he's looking down, and he's holding his pouch. And then like he's like kind of sweating because it's so hot outside. And then he sits down. And then Don Alberto goes like, "How you doing, my friend? Good?" And then he's like not even looking at us. He like sits up straight, and he's like, "Well, could be better, but I guess I'm doing okay."
That's me. Me as hell.
Once Mama Girl said that, I was like, oh, that's my sister.
Yeah.
That is.
You hold hands.
I was like, that is a fag troll online. Like, he's one of those that has, like, the, like, secret, like, YouTube account that, like, just fires up the comments with, like, a full dissertation of, like, why Katy Perry's song sucks. Like, that's him.
Well, it does.
That's him. Listen, controversial take. Dr. Luke aside, which I will not support, and it's not like I'm streaming it. I am saying I did need to listen.
Yeah, I listened to it one
for
time.
the cultural. I am going to say I don't mind the chorus. I think like pop song, as far as like the makings of a pop song, the chorus does have some catchy elements. Like, when you're just living in it. Like the little moan in the back. It's like very pop. It's very pop core. And like
It has the elements, but it doesn't execute it well.
I understand, but like just the chorus has the elements of like it sounds like a fun pop song. So when I heard the chorus, I was not mad. I was a fan. And then literally the rest of the song is just like AI generated, just like strength, power, femininity as she's like shaking her tits on the music video. I'm like, what is this music video trying to say? Anyway, back to Army Guy.
Oh, there's okay.
Okay, so there is more because it was such an interesting scenario. I was like, I've never seen another queer coded person in this fucking salon. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, is Don Alberto aware that there's like 2 queer fucking people at his fucking salon? Next thing you know, someone else walks in, a white guy, long earring, painted nails.
Ah!
Miss they them, or they them coded, whatever, walks in and he's like,
I like how you're like they them coded, but then you refer to them as he.
Well, because he could be he they, and I don't know because I didn't ask.
Well,
and he could go.
You're trying to be inclusive. It's like that meme that's
not like, male.
No, it's like his pronouns are they them.
Oh, with Kristen Dunst, like turning around, being like,
yeah, it's that.
They them. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm a defender of the community at large.
Clearly.
So now you can imagine from like this white guy's perspective, walking into this salon. At first glance, he has to be aware that like here's this like tall 6'4" Don Alberto with tats up the yay, like turns around, me there, and then this other guy, he's like okay, and then the white guy goes like he's like español, habla español, and then Don Alberto goes like sure. The guy's like okay, because I think he was trying to like be like, oh, like I can communicate in Spanish, I guess, but he didn't mean it in a wrong way. I thought he just like sensed the vibe, and he was like, oh, like I guess I'm gonna ask for a haircut in Spanish because I'm trying to like assimilate myself. He was trying to assimilate. And so then the other barber comes in, and then the next song that plays, it was a Mariah Carey song. It was It's Like That Show.
You all start dancing.
When I tell you, I looked at all of them, I was like, this is a gay salon now. It was a gay salon. For the amount of time the Mariah Carey song was playing, the white guy was getting his fade, the black guy was over there, I'm sitting there, and I was like, look, I was waiting for one of them to look at me. I was like, somebody please look at me so we could all acknowledge the fact that we are Brittany Salon. And like, it's just the hottest gay spot in town. And it felt actually really cool.
Yay!
Well, I don't think you get the gravity of it, but it's just like...
Well, I don't go to barbershops, so I
know, it's like, you know, like, the one space that felt like the most intimidating male-coded space today was literally the gayest fucking place for the duration of that Mariah Carey song.
That's beautiful.
And it felt really cool. I was like, wait, like, Don Alberto now is the minority in this fucking salon.
And I'm sure he sounds like he'd be very secure.
And he's always so lovely to everybody.
Yeah.
So
if he was an insecure barber, he would be.
Oh yeah.
He'd be like, faggots.
Yeah, I don't know, or like, and you know, like I've had barbers like in Spanish, you know, ask me about my girlfriends, you know, and I'm just like, girl, who are we lying? Like, you see me, I see you. Like, no need to like go.
Like, I'm the girlfriend.
Like, I'm the girlfriend.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. How many girlfriends? Well, there's Ashley, Tiffany, there's Jordan, there's Alyssa. We're all the girlies. We're the brats.
No, you're like, so Alex, Robert.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex, Robert, Spencer, town council member.
Those are the girls, the girlfriends. No, I love.
It was really cute.
Well, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you had such a beautiful morning.
Thank you.
My morning, I just did my laundry because I will be flying back home to Wisconsin tomorrow.
The mood's gonna change.
Yeah, the mood is so sorry to change the mood, but I'm going back home for the weekend because my grandmother passed on Sunday. So as you're...
Our condolences from the town.
Thank you. As you're listening to this, I will be at the funeral. I'll be carrying the casket and be doing a reading at church, which I haven't done since high school.
Talk about male-coded, carrying the casket.
I know.
Carrying the fag stick kid.
My sisters are honorary pallbearers. My dad was like, you're a pallbearer, and then told my sisters that they're honorary ones, and they're like, what does that mean? And it just means that they walk behind the men who carry the casket.
One of your sisters should like sub, you know, like sub in, you know, like tag in.
I'm like, oh, wait, happy.
I was like, oh, we girls.
No, it's
Grandma.
Girl, what did you eat?
Grandma.
No, so yeah, so I'll be doing that. And it happened very suddenly, so it was very much a shock. Or whatever. So it's been an interesting week, and then I got sick. So then, like, I've just been kind of going through it. But on what did I do yesterday? Yesterday, I went to this dispensary because I was like, you know what? I want to get a couple of edibles for my plane ride.
To calm you down.
I want to be just like chill because, God, I hate like airports, traveling, flying.
My favorite.
Not because I get stressed out or I'm scared of flying. It's just that it's just so annoying, the whole experience. Like, I just never have a good time because, like, whenever I go home, there's always some issue with my flights. Like, because there's not a direct flight for me to go home, so I have to fly to Chicago and then I have to transfer to the airport that's closest to my parents. And so then, like, it's usually when I get to Chicago is when all the problems start because, like, either
the O'Hare Airport,
yeah,
which is really beautiful,
and it's a lovely airport. I love Chicago O'Hare. It's a great airport.
Oh, we'll get to shout out. So someone from Chicago shouted us today. So.
Oh, shout out. But the issue is that there are usually 2 flights a day to the airport that is closest to where my parents live. And so if you miss one, then you have to wait until the end of the fucking day for the next one. And sometimes how the scheduling of, like, the flights works out is that I land and then I have, like, 30 minutes before boarding starts for the next one, and it's on the opposite end of the airport, which means you have to run and, like, try to take those.
How? Usually it's from the same gates, the same planes that go to the same locations. Really? Interesting.
Because the airport that I fly into is so small that the aircrafts that they use are, like, there's one seat literally on each side.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, like, tiny, and so it's like, so then those are all on a different section of the airport. So it's a whole different gate. So then I'm usually, like, running to get there. I've missed flights a couple of times because I've been delayed here in New York, and then by the time that we land, it's like when they're boarding. So by the time I get there, the boarding has ended and they're like, the plane has already, like, gone off, and then they're like, oh, you'll have to wait till the next one, and it's like so it fucking sucks. We're tiny as fuck. There's no, like, room.
You can tell also, like, the I don't know if you can tell when you go to the gate where, like, it's going to Wisconsin, because whenever I used to go to West Texas, to Odessa or Midland from the Dallas airport, like, it's a huge airport, and, like, a couple terminals are really gorgeous to have, like, all the fun stuff. Oh, but the gates at the tail end of the fucking terminal that go to West Texas, oh, mama, you'll be lucky if there's a subway. Like, it's the dankiest fucking thing.
No, it's always so funny to me when I'm waiting or walking to the gate that it is my second flight, my connecting flight, because it is some of the most toxically masculine Midwestern countrymen that I have
ever shifts.
Oh, they're wearing their baseball cap, they're decked out in camo, they got the Trump
Wranglers,
they got the Trump merch on, and then I'm rolling up and I got my nails done, I'm wearing whatever it is that I'm wearing, and I'm just like,
Jesse Savjo, Carl,
and I'm just like, oh, this has just been such a day, like, just travel, and then they're just, like, looking me up and down like, where is this faggot going? I'm like, we're going to the same place, bitch.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm going home.
You're my neighbor.
So anyway, I went to a dispensary yesterday that I had never been to before, and I had heard of it, and I was intrigued to stop by, and I was like, you know what? And because I found out the smoke shop that I have been going to that's by work, I had picked up some edibles from them last week, and they tried to overcharge me. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, what are we doing here? I have been a loyal customer to you for actually quite some time. And yes, like, he likes to haggle, or, like, the 2 men that work there like to, if they... Sometimes you just have to, try to negotiate a rate that makes sense for the both parties involved. And sometimes they try to scam you. And so they tried to sell me this tin of edibles for $50. I go on this dispensary's websites to see if they have the same ones because a coworker had told me about them. And I'm like, oh, I really want to try those because she was telling me that they're good. $30. I said, oh, I'm sorry, what? The $20 upcharge? You're on crack. You're on crack.
Did you say that?
No, because I found this out after the fact because I didn't buy them. Because the last time that I went in there, I was like, oh, I want to get edibles. And then he goes, this is for $50. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, yeah. And I said, oh, I don't want to spend that much. And then he goes, I have something else that I can show you. He's like, what are you looking to spend? And I said, I was looking to spend in the $30 to $30 to $40 range. And then he was like, okay, let me go back and see what I have. And then comes out and pulls out some random ass like thing. And he's like, oh, we could do this for you. And then I stood there sitting and I was like, that's still a little too much. And he goes, no, I'll do $5 less and we'll take the tax off. And I'm like, okay, fine, then I'll do it, whatever. I'm sure he overcharged me way too much for those two now that I think about it, but whatever. So I go to this dispensary, and to get in, they check your ID, they scan it, and then immediately send me over to this front desk where I guess the scan of your ID gets sent to that person, and then they try to like set up an account for you or whatever so they can keep track because they I guess have a rewards system or something. So anyway, I roll up to this desk and I step up there and this woman is behind it and she goes, Nicholas? And I didn't hear her at first. And I was like, huh? And she was like, are you Nicholas? And I was like, yeah. And then she looks at me and she goes, do you maybe go by a different... And I said, oh, I go by Nick. And she goes, okay, I'm going to add that to your profile. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, the way that I was dressed yesterday wasn't giving non-binary down in the way that I normally does.
You were giving more traditional.
I was giving more, I don't know, I was giving like more like Bushwick twink.
Yeah, I think in Bushwick, yeah, maybe it's just the hair that throws
maybe
people
it's
off.
the long hair that throws people off because I was wearing it down at first, but she was like looking at me and I think she was like, oh, you just haven't updated your ID yet, mama, you have to go to the DMV.
Your gender marker.
Yeah, you have to change your you forgot to change your gender on your ID, babe.
Imagine they check your ID, you're like, oh, it says male here.
Sorry, I didn't want, no, I'm sure she was scared about dead naming me. I'm sure she was like, because the way that she said it, she was like hesitating. She was like, Nicholas?
Which, thank you for reinvigorating me on this topic. Dead naming. Dead naming applies not only to people who are transitioning and who are choosing their name, because that's the name that they feel, like their true self.
Where is this going?
Dead naming also applies if you like don't go by your legal name, quote unquote, or your birth name, whatever, and you have like a stage, whatever name you want to go by. No one else has the right to ask you what your real name is or like what your whatever. I've had a big issue about this because with people asking me my name, like if my real name is Peru. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm like, listen, it's none of your fucking business what my real or not real name is. I'm telling you my name is Peru.
Yeah.
So you're going to take me at what I'm telling you my name is.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it when people are like, is that your real name? I'm like, who fucking cares? When you tell me your name is Rachel, I'm not like, oh, is your name really Rachel? I'm like, no, your name is Rachel and you tell me your name. Don't ever ask anybody what their, if that's their real name. If you're interested in someone's name because it sounds different, then maybe a better roundabout way to ask is just like, oh, like, I've never heard that name before. Like, what a cool name, interesting. And then maybe you'll incite the other person to give you their, like, more information on, like, where the name comes from, or there's, like, a story of what the name means or something. I'm very passionate about this. And because some people just take the liberty to just want to know, And, like, listen, now that I have my White Savior show in which I explicitly talk about, like, what my birth name is, I still consider people calling me by my birth name. It doesn't feel right. Like, I don't like it. It feels wrong. When my family uses it, I become a different person. Like, it's just whenever I'm addressed as my quote-unquote birth name, I'm a different person. Like, who I feel like truly as myself is as Peru. Like, that's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I am so passionate. Like, I hate it. There was this one guy who, like, saw my driver's license once and just felt the liberty to just call me by my fucking, like, birth legal name. And I was like, don't do that. That's literally close to dead naming somebody. If somebody tells you not to call them a name, don't do that. I'm actually upset about this.
I know, you're like really angry. But don't take a deep breath.
But don't you believe that to be true?
I mean, like, I think you should just respect people's wishes.
Yeah, just
like,
because somebody's, it just not only trans people or like the dead naming somebody applies to however that person makes them feel. If someone tells you what their name is, that's it. The end of the conversation. Anyway,
did you take a deep breath?
Thank
Breathe
you
in
so
and breathe out. So then anyway, I bought these edibles afterwards, and I only spent $30, which was great because that was what I wanted to spend. And I had that lovely interaction with that woman, and I will probably go back. And then yesterday on the train, I was like, I don't know if this counts as sexual harassment, but I was on my way home, and I had my headphones on, and I was sitting in a seat, and there was these two people who get on the train who were giving indications that they may be under the influence of some sort of narcotic of some kind.
To what?
Individuals.
What's individuals?
And so they were standing right in front of me.
What gender?
I don't know. Because
so they're peers.
Well, I don't know. So anyway, so this one was standing in front of me, and they were wearing, I'm just gonna describe, wearing basically just like underwear, like short underwear, and then like a sports bra, and then like a big oversized like button down shirt, and then they were carrying a trash bag with them, and they were wearing like slippers, and then there was the other person next to them, and then they had like a big hat on, and then there was this other person who was with them that had like a cane or whatever. But anyway, the person who was wearing the underwear was in front of me, like whatever, and kept like leaning down and like looking at me, and I was just like choosing to ignore. But then periodically out of the corner of my eye, I would see them like take the like band of their underwear and like kind of like pull it down to reveal some skin to try to get my attention, and I was like, oh, I'm ignoring, and then would like turn behind them and like look to see whatever, and then would like do something to see like if someone else was looking, and I think they were just trying to get some dick from like somebody that night. And then I was like, oh no. And then there was one point where they put their hand down their pants and were just kind of like grabbing their crotch, and I was like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable. I was like, this is, and I just sat there and I was like, just look forward, don't look. And thankfully they got off before we like, right when we got into Brooklyn, they got off. So I was like, thank God.
What do you do when you feel uncomfortable in the train? Do you like, look at your phone, or like pull out what do you just like look to the ether? Like pull out my phone and pretend I'm watching something.
I either pull out my phone and like scroll, or I will like close my eyes and pretend like I'm falling asleep. Because I'm just like, but then like sometimes I get nervous about that, because then I'm like, oh, I don't want them to like
come up to you
or come up to me or whatever. Yeah. So I was just like trying to, focus on like something else on the train, or just like be deep in thought. But that was interesting.
That could have been, a good moment for you.
No, I didn't find the person attractive, and I don't think it would have been
sexually satisfying.
Yes, that, and also I would be interested to you never want to have sex with someone who you don't know their medical history,
That's with every fucking person we have sex with, girl.
No.
Yes. Somebody can tell they're neg on prep, and they could not be neg on prep. You just gotta fucking like take people at their word and just like take care of your health. That's why there's things, you feel protected when you take prep, or like when you have like.
Well, it also didn't smell like they had showered at any time recently.
Well, that's much more of a turn off.
So that was also because I was sitting there.
Continue.
Oh no, because I was just sitting there, and I think it also maybe was with the trash bag that they had. Something smelled, and then as soon as they got off the train, it didn't smell anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm sure it was them. No shade.
When the dick smells, not even like
it smells
dick.
Like what?
When I was blowing this guy, and this is a guy that I've had sex plenty of times, but the thing is, and he always tells me he showers right before I come over. He's like, okay, I'm gonna hop on a shower. I'm like, great. So his apartment's clean. He's a clean guy, but it's just like the scent in his like dick, like smells like sometimes like the smell of a dick.
I love the smell of a dick.
Smell of a dick. Title of that, smell of a dick.
I feel like that's similar to
I
something
think we've done
have.
something smell of a dick. Oh, the idea of a dick we've done.
Yeah, we've done
episode
that.
4 or something. But the smell of a dick, love. But some crosses over to like rank or like damp, or almost like even like BO, like dick BO, that just crosses over from like just like smelling hot and like a dick to just like, ugh, it just smells like too strongly. It's almost like a warm smell, like it's just concentrated, and I'm just like, ugh. Recently, this guy, I went down when I was blowing him, and I was like, oh no, like this hasn't gotten air in a while. Like it just felt like it had just been like in the underwear for a bit, and I was like, okay, we're gonna move on. I was like, no, okay, but I recently, because my phone's recording, but I got hit up from this guy on Grindr. who I'd been trying to hook up with for a long time.
Oh,
He's
all the shout-outs.
what? Oh yeah, he's actually a bartender, like at a well-known cocktail bar here in Harlem. And I've been trying, like when I saw him at the bar, like I could like throwing glances at him, you know, because I thought he was really cute. And like I just get he's like he has like no hair and like a really nice like facial hair structure. Like he's really mysterious looking, and like I really like him. He's really hot, and I actually found him on Grindr, so like I hit him up. And I had no idea that when I went and checked, actually, I was trying to hit him up and like, you know, like have him to have sex with me, and it said side on his profile. And now every townsperson here knows, like, if I want to meet up with somebody from Grindr, like I want to get dick down, you know, I'm not just down to clown around like Nick does. But this guy, like, I really want it. And so like I finally got him to send me a picture. No, I didn't finally get him, like we were trading nudes, and I was like, hey, more pigs. So he hadn't, because I had sent him already like a few images of me just to try to get him turned on, and he never sent anything back. And I was like, okay, well, fuck my drag. But then this morning, he hit me up. He like tapped me and hit me up, and I was like, oh, okay, he came back for more. He like liked what he saw. He wants to like get a trial run. So
he like
like
accidentally deleted the messages, and then you said resend the photos. He's like, oh,
okay.
right. There's a reason I didn't respond.
No. We've been talking. I can tell he started me because I wasn't around. He was like 8 miles away, and then I was like, okay.
Oh, so you're gonna travel for it?
No. He was. I'm just telling you. You know, when he hit me up, he was 8 miles away, which means I was starved. Like I wasn't in the vicinity when he saw me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but does that mean are you gonna?
No, but he lives around here.
Oh.
I know that because we've already talked. He sent me a picture of his dick. Girl, I'll show you. It's like girthy and long, and like he's one of those that like he's like like a slender figure, but he has like hair. You know, you would like him.
An otter,
like an otter. Yeah. Oh, and it's so good. And he was like,
I probably hit him. I probably hit him up before.
And so like I was like, oh, like wanna fucking breed me or whatever. And then he was like, side play. That was his response. And I was like, oh, gotcha.
Oh, so perfect for me.
No, because then I was like I sent a message saying, oh, gotcha, to see like, because usually it's the guys who tell me they're just like, but with an ass like yours, like I might have to just fuck it. He didn't say any of that. So like 10 minutes go by without him responding, and I was like, well, I'll be down to blow ya. And then he was like, I would love a good blowjob, and I think I'm gonna be doing it. But like, I don't know if it's appropriate and tell me, townspeople, if any townsperson is aside, you give me advice in the comments. Subscribe if you're watching this. Subscribe right now or comment down below. But as a side, is it appropriate to like ask a side why they're a side, or like ask them like, so do you ever fuck? Because like I definitely want to go blow him, but like I want to blow him so good, and then be like, are you sure you don't want to fuck? Or is that like disrespecting a side?
Well, he did make it very clear that he's just interested in doing side stuff. So to then bring up again being like, you sure you don't want to fuck me, it does feel a little bit like, girl, we've had this conversation already.
Well, then, is it appropriate then to just ask? But so, like, do you is that all that you're into, like side play? Because I know he's in a relationship, which you hate. But
oh, I do hate that.
I'm always very curious, you know. Like, I don't know, like after he comes, you know, like small talk. It's just like, hey, so do you also fuck? Like, do you?
I don't think you should phrase it if you are curious or you do want to ask. I don't think phrase it like that. Be like, oh, you could be like, so do you only ever do side stuff?
Yeah.
Like, or I don't know, but I wouldn't be like, you don't want to fuck me. It just reminds me of that episode of Sex and the City where this is like different, but it's like when Miranda's with the guy who like wants her to eat his butt, and then he keeps like pushing it in her face, and she just keeps being like, no.
Yeah.
Like that's what it feels like, you pushing your butt into him, and he's like, oh no.
I mean, of course I will take a no, or like I don't like it. Great, that's enough of a response, I guess, you know. But like I really want it. But anyway, it's recorded here on the record. I'm not gonna coerce anybody, but
well, we don't know. Okay, shout out to Long Island.
Okay, Long Island.
And then we do have 2 little town hall topics.
Wait, there's also something in the messages I want to address. This one, a really cute one, actually.
That's the one you responded to this question.
No, yeah. But then there's also one here. There's a couple, actually. Wait, this is not up to date.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. See?
Oh.
Okay. There is... what's this? Oh, yeah. So read this. I think you... Wait. Oh, no. I already did this. Oh, this. This is really sweet.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, shout out from Marcus. Shout out to my best friend Nath, living in Montreal. We being we're distance apart. I wanted to tell him through you guys how. Okay,
let me read this.
No, I got this. I'm just hold on. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm just having to read it for.
You would be horrible at cold reads for an audition.
I'm not good at cold reads. Okay, shout out to my best friend Nath, living in Montreal. We've been spread apart by distance. I wanted to let him know through you guys how proud I am of him. Through your beautiful mouths, voices, tone, movements, and embodiment, tell him that I am incredibly proud of the moves he's made in the past year, his career, love life, personal life, and in creating and settling in a new home. Also love seeing him grow with his current partner, slay the house down committed. Also want to shout out his new foster pup Bookie. Hope she grows up healthy and doesn't destroy any more of his belongings. Can't wait to visit him this coming September. Love and support always. Returning townsperson reporting from Hong Kong. Oh, shout out.
Yes, and then I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. Like, what a lovely message for your friend to tell him that you're proud. And I realized that his friend actually had reached out. We have already shouted out Marcus because his friend or their friend already shouted them out, you know?
Gorge.
So it's like two friends who are townspeople who are like shouting each other out through the pod. I think it's so cute.
Wait, love. And then we have a shout out to Joaquin from San Jose, California. Sent us an episode of Pop the Balloon or Fall in Love or Pop the Balloon. Gay. Oh, there's a gay edition.
Yes, so this is the first message.
Oh, shut up. Wait, I know what I'll be watching at work tonight.
Read the message though.
Oh, sorry. Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time DMer. This is in response to Nick's recent Trailblazer Pop the Balloon dating show. There is a gay version, but it's way more messy, and I feel like the interview isn't as good as grilling the guys. Okay, cool. But I will be watching and I'll report back.
Mm-hmm. He'll be watching this tonight, I know.
Oh, trust and believe.
Where's Joaquin from? I'm not sure.
San Jose, California.
San Jose. Oh, a lot of California lately. Oh my god, we should really, we should consider doing something in California.
Should we tour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we have...
Comment down below if you want us to come to your city.
So we have 2 town hall suggestions. One, seeing my BF's ex-girlfriend for the first time. I've never had a BF, so I don't have that issue. I've never had to run into somebody's ex before.
I have, and the one time that happened didn't go well for me.
What actually happened to me... Oh! Bitch, I know what I'm going to talk about. I forgot to talk about what happened to me on Saturday when I went to the play.
Girl, do you really want to give that so much space?
Well, I'm just gonna, that brings up because I have never been the one with the BF seen an ex, but I have been the ex who runs into the couple.
Well, were you an ex?
An ex fuck.
You were an ex fucked out of the
Okay, so I'll make this really...
the ex fuck.
So on Saturday, I totally forgot that this happened. So this is before my grandma died. Literally the day before. This is how you know.
This should have been an indication.
This is how you know my life is fucked up. Because Saturday night, I go with my friend Claire. We decide that we want to go see this play off Broadway that we both have like been talking about for a minute. And so we looked online. Tickets were like $80-something, way too expensive for the show. Like we knew that we could probably try to rush it or like try to get tickets for cheaper at the box office. So we decide to go there like right before the show starts to see if we can do standby tickets. I walk in. There's this twink behind the front desk. We roll up. We're like, hey, we don't have tickets, but we're interested in doing standby if you have them available. And like, how much would they be? He let us know how much the tickets would be if we got standby tickets. He's like, it is a little bit busy tonight. He's like, but we do have a couple of more people that we still need to check in. And he's like, there's 2 people in front of you on the list. So like, just if you want to stick around in the lobby, we'll let you know. And he said, great. So we're sitting down in the lobby on our phone, looking for places to go get dinner if we don't get in, whatever, so we can go have something to do and go somewhere to eat. So as we're looking at these different restaurants in the neighborhood, all of a sudden the front door to the theater opens up and this man walks in. And I look up and immediately I'm like, no. It is a man that I have talked about on this podcast before. Back in October, he had shown up to our place of work, where Peru and I work, pretended that he did not know who I was. Like, fully, we made eye contact, saw each other, whatever, but just completely acted as if he didn't know me. Which I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, it is what it is. We had hooked up a couple of times. We matched on Raya. When I was on Raya, I'm not on Raya anymore because waste of time and money.
And money, most of all. Are you kidding me?
It's so expensive. And
y'all, right, $20. So once you get in, quote unquote, you gotta pay $20. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I paid 1 month and I was like, this is stupid.
No, I was like, absolutely not. And so then He was also the only ever person that I ever met up on from there, and I was like, oh wait, and the sex is so good. The sex was so good, which is why I was so upset when he ghosted me, because I was dickmatized. Okay, he put his dick, that little wand he has on his body, put a spell on this pussy. Okay, and now I'm cursed because now I run into him fucking everywhere. So then all of a sudden he walks into the theater, and I see him and I go, oh, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna actually kill myself right now, because I wasn't looking my best. Like, I didn't really try. I was like, we're just gonna go see a play. Like, I was like,
which is why I always dress to success.
I like looked cute, but it was a hot day. My hair was down. It was frizzy. Like, I would just looked a mess. And then
I was dressed for dick.
And bitch. I turned to Claire and I go, I'm gonna kill myself. And she was like, what? Why? And I said, no, don't make a scene. Just like play cool. Because mind you, we're the only two people that are really just sitting in this lobby. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, like we're still waiting. Like people are like, maybe 2 people come in to collect their tickets and whatever. And it's like 2 minutes before the show's supposed to start. And I go, that's him. And because I've talked about him with her before plenty of times, and she knows what he looks like because I've shown like Instagram, like whatever profiles and things like years ago. Because this happened, this was like 2.5 years ago at this point when I met him or whatever for the first time. And so then she was like, oh my God, that is him. She goes, fuck, he looks real good. And I was like, I know he does. And so then anyway, again, he doesn't see us when he walks in. I think he clocked us or whatever when he like turned, because he walked behind the booth because he knows the twink behind the booth. So either one, he works on the show, or he was just coming to see it. So then anyway, he then like walks to the different part of the lobby, is standing basically in front of us a couple of feet away talking to somebody, and then he like turns his back to us, like made a conscious effort to like not be facing us. And I go, okay, cool, so he knows that I'm here. I was like, great. And we're just gonna pretend we don't know each other. And my friend was like, do you want to go? We can just go. And I was like, no. I was like, I want to see this play. I'm not gonna let this man being here dictate what I do with my fucking life. So then all of a sudden he goes up the stairs to like either the booth or to like his seat or something. And so then we're waiting, and then the twink behind the box office goes to the girls, that other people that were this 2 standby in front of us. He goes, girls, we got you in. And they're like, oh, yay! And it's like these 2 college girls, and they like go up and they pay for their tickets and stuff. And I go, oh my God, I think we're gonna get in, because they did not have that many other people come and check in, because he's like, we're still waiting for a couple of people, you know. And so we were like, oh, we're gonna get in. Mind you, I've seen shows at this theater before. They're not set, they're like chairs that you stack to sit in, so they could have just pulled up 2 extra chairs. But then 5 minutes goes by, and the twink comes back out, and he goes, I'm so sorry. We are full tonight, so I won't be able to get you in, but you can try to come back on a day that's not a Saturday. And we can try to get you, you know, I'm here every day of the week, so we could try to work something out. And we were like, no, it's fine. Thank you. And then we leave. And then I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So not only was I humiliated and humiliated by seeing that man, I didn't get into the fucking show, and the next day my grandma died.
Wow,
what is going on?
What a curse. I will say whatever. He can go fuck himself.
Well, yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead that. I don't want to be playing that out there.
How do you know people even know who this person is?
Because I don't want it to see. Listen,
he's in the entertainment industry as well, and
I mean, he was on Raya, so he clearly has some sort of level of.
Yeah, but Raya's also like, there's like DJs there. There's like, it's not. There's a jewelry makers on Raya. It's not.
Yeah, but it's people who are like, you know, I mean, not necessarily prominent in their industry, but like, because
I certainly am. I certainly am prominent in my industry. That's how I got on Raya.
Anyway, long story short, fuck that man.
Listen, I'm not gonna cut that. I'm just gonna say that like, he's somebody who's around, and like, I guess.
Well, we have a lot of mutual.
Yeah, but that's the
thing.
Like,
in our lives.
So I'm saying, if you're in this industry, and you cannot be playing that game, mama, because guess what? You are going to continue running around to these people all the time. So the fact that he's choosing not the normal way, which is just to like, hey, how are you? You know, good to see you. Just like, even for you, like, listen, I want to, and I love you, sister, and I love you so much.
Are you going to call me delusional?
I love you to death.
Are you going to call me crazy?
No, I've already told you that in private, you know? Do you sometimes like tend to like think something was about you when it wasn't?
Everything's always about me.
No, me too. But in a different way. I feel like you're always thinking like, oh my God, like, no, they were talking about me, like they hate me. Like, you're always like, when like, you know, the fact that you think like, oh, he for sure told him about me, or like he's we don't really know. Like, we're not sure. He probably, maybe you were just like in your head about that. Regardless, though, it doesn't matter about the box office twink.
Oh, I don't care about the box office twink.
Exactly.
I do think that is his.
No, yeah, because we've checked the gram and it tracks. Like, that's the one that he's been putting his hand around, and like there's only like a few posts.
I think that there's a romantic connection.
There's a romantic connection there because we've seen it on the grid on Maine, and so he could, knowing that, like, you know, like if I were to meet you, I would know that you're like sensible like that you're sensitive, and like if I were to know that about you, in order to make things less awkward, because I clearly keep fucking running into you, I would just be like, hey Nick, what's up, you know, like, hey, how are you, good to see you, and just like say hi to your friend, and then
oh yeah, but he made it weird.
That would probably make you feel like, okay, you know what, he's trying to be nice, he's trying to act like everything's okay, and that would make you feel less heightened, you know.
Sure, but we only fucked twice, so he doesn't know me that well.
Exactly, which is also you. Like, you need to just like take a step down and just
yes,
think,
obviously, but like it is just also, it's just a crazy situation. Also,
but again, he's still in the wrong, because like you fuck somebody twice, and it's not like you forget what their face looks like. If you see somebody, like you start having that thought where you're just like, wait, this person looks familiar.
Well,
like,
and the thing is, because I'm sure some people are like, well, why don't you just say hi? Oh, trust and believe. I have tried. There have been multiple instances where I have.
Okay, well, I have to side with their sister, because because when Miss Thing came to Pasties,
that was after I had hit him up, like for maybe like the third or fourth time.
So that's the difference. I think where the relationship, where everything, the communication went awry, is you attempted to establish communication with him again in a sexual manner.
No, it wasn't even sexual. It was just like, oh, how have you, like, I literally, for context, saw this man on Grindr, like, this was probably a year and a half ago now.
We talked about this like early in the podcast.
Yeah. But for new listeners who haven't listened to every episode, like, I saw him on the grid because he was nearby, and I said, oh my god, hey, like, how have you been? It's a long time no talk. Because, like, we do follow each other on Instagram or whatever, but then also, like, we don't ever, I have him muted. Ultimately, I have him muted because I don't want to see his shit anymore. But I still didn't want to like unfollow to like look like I cared. But enough to unfollow. But then anyway, I said like, hey, and he's like, oh hey, and I go, how have you been? Like, long time no talk. Never responded.
Yeah, and that's when he went wrong.
Well, and that's the thing. And so I'm like, and listen, and and before that there were a couple of other attempts in which that they were spread out over like, you know, months, where I was just like, well, let me just say hey. Again, it's the message is received that he's not interested, which is like fine, like totally normal and like totally okay, girl. Like, happy for you in your life or whatever, and whatever you're doing. But I'm also like, you can just be normal about it. And that this is not the only problem that I've had. Like, I keep seeing now this person that I went on a full date with, and we had sex, and lives in my neighborhood, goes to my gym, and then like, after we had our date or whatever, he I guess wasn't into it, which is fine. Again, that happens. Like, I'm an adult. Like, I can handle it. If you're not interested, you just need to like tell me or whatever. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep thinking that you're interested and keep trying to hang out unless you are clear about it. If I had a good time, but then he had like, then I would see him at the gym all the time, and then I would like try to be normal and be like, hey, like, just be friendly. Like, I get it. The note taken. You're not interested, but I can still be friendly with you. It doesn't mean anything. And then would act so like weird and like be like, oh, like, hey. And I'm like, okay, take a deep breath, whatever. And then that same person, one time I saw him at the gym, waved. I was like, I'm gonna be friendly. Completely looked past me, did not like even acknowledge me or whatever. And then later that night texted me being like, did I see you at the gym today? So then I was like, oh.
So in private.
So I'm like, okay, so weird. And then I was like, yeah, I waved to you, whatever. And then he was like, oh my god, like, how have you been? Like, we should catch up sometime. And I said, oh, if you want to get a drink, let me know. Again, crickets. But then I was like, fine, you don't want to hang out. You're just being, you know, polite. Fine, okay, whatever. But then every time that I seen him again, which for his work, for his job, he travels a lot, so he's not in the city, you know, for long stretches of time. When he has, I guess he's returned, because I've seen him the last couple of weeks when I've been in the gym, and it's the same thing where he like completely just like looked past me, whatever. So I'm just like, this is a trend that I have noticed with some gay people, bisexual people, men, non-binaries. For some reason, they just want to pretend like I don't exist.
It's all on them. It just boils down to poor communication. All this fucking rotted gay they thems. Like, they're all just like don't know how to act in awkward situations, and it just takes a certain amount of just like courage and just like confidence to just fucking be like, hey, like, I see, honey, in my building, I don't even know if I told you. There's about 4 people in this building, 5 people, who in between us, we've either hit each other up and not been interested, or I've hit them up and not been interested. Actually, there's 6. There's 6. 6 fags in this building. 2 that were so interested in me that I had to block on Grindr, that I continue to see every other day. And when I see them and we walk across the hall or like the gate, I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna like be awkward, be like, oh. And the same thing, there's particularly this one really hot guy, contemporary in this building, who is so hot, so sexy. I see him all the time. I've hit him up time and time again, and he does not respond. So I said I'm gonna stop, but I continue to see him, and I see him like every other day coming in and out of this building. And again, he like, nods at me. I say hey, like it's not that big of a deal.
No.
We can still be like
cordial,
real human beings and just be like, hey, you brother, thank you.
Well,
see you
like,
in the gym. Hey, see you at the fucking theater. Be like, hey, how are you? That's all it takes to just get rid of just like that sense of just like awkwardness or insecurity that, oh, he thinks he's also delusional. Actually, he thinks he's such hot shit that like him saying hi to you is just gonna, well, maybe.
No, if he were to come up and say hi to me, I would have been like, oh, he's in love with me. He's gonna leave his man for me. Like,
yes, that's the area that you need to work on a little bit as my sister. Just work on, being able to take a hello from a male and just
not read into it.
Hello,
yeah.
And but with this specific person, he's also been like a douchebag, so he can just go fuck himself.
Yeah, he's been like rude or whatever. But anyway, it just is. That's why like I haven't really like been in the mood to date in the last like to go on like an official date. I haven't been on like a real date, a date in like over a year. I haven't tried to like, and that just happened by meeting someone out in the wild, and we all know how that turned out. Cut to Thanksgiving. And then I haven't like been on a like online date with somebody since the person from my gym, which was like 2 years ago. Because it's just like I run into this problem where it's like, oh, you're gonna pretend like you don't know who I am, or
they're just, which is an overall problem in this community. Everyone will tell you on DM, on Tinder, Hinge, Grindr, DM on Instagram. They'll be like, let's hang out, let's go on a date. But then, like, ultimately, all they want to do is just fuck.
Which is fine. Listen.
Yeah, but then be clear about it. Like, don't just, like, seduce me into being like, we should...
No,
whatever.
that's not I mean, listen, I don't give a fuck. I'll fuck. I mean, I don't know unless I'm there in the moment. But, like, the thing about me is the after period where it's like, if I'm going to see you out in our neighborhood because we met each other on Grindr because we live near each other, and that's why it's a location-based app, I'm going to see you around in the neighborhood. Yeah. So the least that you can do is just acknowledge that I'm a person and that you know me. Your penis has been inside my butthole. Yeah. We have been intimate.
Which you've also discussed this thing with me that, like, you could, and we've talked about this. This is me not reading Nick. This is something that Nick knows this about himself. Like, you've talked about, like, the moment you, like, if somebody that you, like, you've discussed, like, if somebody were to fuck you, that becomes, like an intimate connection, I have the opposite problem in which, like, I can definitely detach sex from, like, feeling.
I can detach in and, like, if the like, the thing is if I like you as a person, and
then they fuck you, you're over.
Then it's done.
Love.
Then I'm like in love.
Exactly.
Because, like, if I like you at a friend level, like, and also it takes a really long time for me to decide. I mean, it depends on the person, but, like, if I'm choosing to spend my time with somebody, like, I don't take that shit seriously because I love to be alone. Like, I don't need to be hanging out with people. So it's like I have to really like you if I want to hang out with you. And if you want to hang out with me, and then you want to put your dick in me, I'm like, wait, that's my husband. Yeah. Let's build a life together. Let's be partners. And not everybody wants to do that. Some people can fuck their friends, and I can't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, fucking friends. Which, yeah. But listen, right now, both you and I, right now, we can say this is more like a inside between the two of us.
Yeah, you and I. Nebraska.
We both have current husbands. So Nick and I have this thing where, like, whoever we're, like, really hard
have a crush on.
Actually, we haven't talked about this. This is new for the okay, townspeople inside
New vocab, new vocab.
new vocab. So new vocab word for the dictionary.
So whenever I jokingly refer to this man that I have a crush on in my life as my husband,
And then I started doing that too.
and it's just been a really fun thing because it's like this man probably has he does not see me in that way for sure, but it's just really funny to be like, my husband talked to me today, and then like if he does something that pisses me off, I'm like, oh, so we're considering divorce.
We're considering divorce.
I worry about the children.
Like,
I just like a split home, a divided home is going to be really hard to grow up with because they're so young, but we're going to try our best, to make sure that the family unit, stays together.
like my current husband went out of town, and I was just like, well, I hope he's doing well. I hope he's like staying faithful to me. And I hope he comes back.
Fully saw my husband last Friday, I think, on a date with somebody walking down the street, and I went, oh, so my husband's cheating on me.
Oh, and trust and believe, Nick called me to tell
I
me.
immediately,
my husband.
Oh, I was drunk too, and
I grabbed my purse. I was like, tell me the coordinates. I will go confront your husband. I will knock on the door.
I'll be there. I'll be right there. Give me the address. I'll be like, who's the slut?
Who's the fucking slut? And like Nick's crying on the corner.
I was hotter than her.
But anyway, so like right now, like we have like two delusional husbands that we're trying to turn into a real husbands.
And listen, if you manifest hard enough,
Nick has two husbands right now. He's in a poly relationship. He has two husbands. I have only one husband. But
no, the other husband isn't really a husband. He's more so like a little boyfriend.
Okay, side piece.
He's a side piece. Like I would fuck, but I don't see him as husband material.
Just to make your husband jealous.
Well, also just to get like, I just want to try it.
Well, I guess so, yeah.
Just because I feel like, listen, I feel like it would be with my boyfriend. If it all works out, I do think I'm gonna fuck him. I do think one of these days.
It's not gonna happen.
No, I do think one of these days he's gonna get really drunk. We're gonna be at a party. We're gonna both be really drunk, and he's like,
and then you'll leave at 8 p.m.
No, because he's constantly asking me if I like. He's like, because he just moved into a new apartment, and he's like, you have to come see the apartment.
He just left you on red.
I know. But the thing is like he was like he gets like
he was busy getting the home set up for you too.
Yes, he was getting his AC set up for me to come home. He was
so surprised with with your like wife cave.
He's turning his man cave into a wife cave. Sure. And that's also what I call my hole, the wife cave.
Oh, the wife cave. Oh, the wife cave.
Oh, that's what you call your hole. It's the cave for the man.
The cave for the man. No, I like the wife cave. The wife cave. It's a sequel to The Good Wife. The wife cave. When the good wife is not good anymore.
Juliana Margulies canceled.
Well, I'm talking about the show itself,
right?
Not her.
I mean, we support Christine Baranski.
Oh, we support The Good Wife franchise. The Good Fight. The Good Wife. The Good Fag. Starring the two of us.
The good fight. Me with the fissures that I have, having to push through every time I take a shit.
It's a lost fight, honey. You ain't never gonna win that fight.
No, she literally after my grandma passed, rip, my fissures went away. Like I don't have anymore. Doesn't hurt anymore.
Divided too much.
No, literally. I think we released it. I know, and then I got sick though. I got like my nasal allergy.
You know
stuff.
what? God giveth, and God taketh away.
Do we have any pioneers or trailblazers?
My pioneers, honestly, Brittany Salon tonight. Brittany Salon was popping.
Oh.
It was gay infested in the best of ways. And even though Nick absolutely did not find anything interesting to that story, as I could see in his reaction.
No, I thought it was interesting. Again, it's a low energy day.
Oh, it's okay. I could tell that story did nothing to you. But you know what? To any of my townspeople of color, any of my Latine, any of my fucking POCs out there who can relate to the environment of a barbershop experience, you will know how transcendent today was to have a majority. It what?
No, it's a beautiful word. I love that word.
Wow. You know what? I hope your husband files for divorce.
I'll be filing for divorce because I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man to do anything for me. I'll do it for myself.
And you know what? I think I'm gonna venture out and predict your trailblazer.
Who?
It's gonna be that Pop the Balloon gay version.
Oh no, because I haven't seen it yet, so I can't decide.
I'm sure you're gonna like it.
I mean, maybe we'll see. No, my trailblazer will be my grandma, Babs. Rest in peace.
Oh,
love
Babs.
her.
Babs down.
Love her.
No, I meant like down in a fun word. No.
So love her. And then
that's how we joke, by the way. Anyone who doesn't take this, who takes this seriously.
And then I will be also trailblazer. The she they behind the counter at the dispensary who was like, do you go by a different? And I said, oh yeah. She was kind of iconic for that. She didn't want to dead name me.
So iconic. Please stop dead naming me, people.
Well, we know how. Okay, we don't need to get into that again. We know how passionate she is.
And you know what? There is a couple townspeople who will comment on YouTube being like, "Oh, Peru and his fucking like soapbox again." And yeah. And guess what? I don't buy soapboxes because guess what? I use body wash. Okay.
Oh, so you use single-use plastic. So you're destroying the environment.
What do you mean? Actually, it's just in one tub. It's like a big tub.
And do you clean it out and then wash it out before you put it in the recycling?
Of course, you see my recycling bin out there, mama. Everything is recycled in this apartment, mama. Okay, wanna come for my recycling? Don't come for my recycling.
It's recycling.
I'll pull whatever plastic you have here on the side of the camera that you don't want to show the townspeople. Oh, I will show the plastic you're consuming out of here on the far right of the screen if you wanna come for me.
It's a dildo.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
A dildo.
Oh, you best believe you could never sit on that. Trust and believe.
I could sit on that.
Oh, you could not sit on that.
No, that's like when that guy was like, "Oh, you were fisted," and I was like, "No." And he goes, "You're almost there."
Anyway, y'all, this is the 5th episode before hiatus. The next 4 episodes, and we're gonna wrap up here in 5 minutes, but I was teasing them on PNT Instagram account. Please follow us at Pioneers and Trailblazers on YouTube and at Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram and on TikTok to get our algorithm up there and get our followers up so people can take us more seriously. But
well, I already take us seriously.
Well, I take us very seriously, trust and believe. But I was telling them that we can actually say this. We have 4 episodes left before we go on hiatus, but we had a really fun idea that instead of leaving you guys out to dry, that we were gonna collect and like basically bank for the last 4 episodes of the podcast. We're gonna ask y'all to submit on either the DM account for Pioneers and Trailblazers Instagram or the Pioneers and Trailblazers email, which is pioneersandtrailblazers@gmail.com. If you have like a long town hall you want to submit or like advice you want from us.
Or multiple questions that you just want to send all in one place.
Yeah, even it can be like anything like about us or like just advice or tell us a story that you're going through and if you want some advice from us. We're going to collect for the next 4 episodes town hall suggestions, advice or shout outs, and then we're gonna make mini episodes for you all that we're gonna just shoot at once, so all of you have like mini episodes to enjoy while we're on hiatus.
Yeah, they'll be like 20 minutes.
It'll be 20 minutes. Yeah, they'll be short, but we'll just grab a lot, so we'll just give you guys like quick bits. So this is your time. If you haven't submitted something, if you want us to talk about something that we haven't talked at random, something about us, about our lives, or advice you want in your sex life or whatever, time to submit it now, because we'll be collecting a few. And I really do, during hiatus, I really do want to build a map. It'll be really cute to like have a townsperson map. So if you are from a location that we haven't shouted out yet, feel free to send it to us because I want to collect those data points.
Are we going to get like a physical map and then do like the push pin?
Wouldn't that be cute? And we can, that can be like the backdrop for anything that we do or something. And that we can even do like a full map and then like, do something with it.
Oh, so we're upping the production value for season 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so where's that production budget?
Well, speaking of budget, we will announce something in the last couple of episodes that will entail some of the season 2 predicaments that we have to continue this podcast going. But for the meantime, just know that there will be a chance for you all to be able to contribute in different ways for us. But in the meantime, follow me at Hey Peru on Instagram and on TikTok, or at Hey Peru _ on X, which I actually don't use anymore because I don't support Elon Musk.
And you can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownFaceBinch on TikTok, and ClownFaceBitch on Twitter/X. I still use X because I get my news on there. Thank you very much.
And like I told my sister Nick, please use real sources for news that are vetted and are not just a social media outlet.
Trust and believe I do follow media sources on there that are reputable. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.